Welcome, Buccaneer fans, to another episode of Inside Buccaneer Football, the Coach Phil Junkins Show. We're joined on the set today with the man for whom the show is named, Coach Phil Junkins, and our guest co-host, Mr. Carly King, Washington Parish Councilman, and also, more importantly, Bowling Green football alumnus.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, Carly.
We are glad to have Carly here. It's a lot of fun.
We are here on homecoming week, preparing to play tomorrow night against Silliman Institute.
Yes, sir.
That's still there, Silliman High School, but
Yeah.
Silliman Institute. That's in Clinton, Louisiana. And the whole week has just been full of activities. This homecoming week, Coach, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Something every day. Talk a little bit about that just to get us started.
Yes, sir. It's been one of those weeks where there's just a whole lot going on, mass confusion. You know, sometimes they at some of the summer church camps they have this thing called OMC, Organized Mass Chaos, and that's kind of what it seems like a lot during the week. Been a lot going on. You know, kids have had a lot of fun, and yet at the same time, trying to focus our young men that, you know. Homecoming is about pageantry. It's about naming a homecoming queen. It's about, you know, alumni coming to town, people seeing folks they haven't seen, in years, and things like that. It's not about you as a football player being recognized that, hey, you put on pads and a helmet.
Right.
It's about a game, and it needs to be won. And this is a very important game for us. Silliman's a very good opponent. They're an extremely good team. They're fast, they're big, and we're going to have to play our best football to have a chance to win this football game. And we have emphasized that this week to our young men. You know, you're not playing Silver Bay, you're playing Silliman.
Right.
And this is a rival game, if you will. I mean, all of us down this way are rivals, if you will.
Exactly.
And everybody wants to beat everybody else. And Coach Davis and his staff do a good job. And they've got a quality football team. And we're going to have to get ourselves focused tomorrow after all the parades and pep rallies and all that kind of stuff and get ourselves relaxed, get ourselves focused on football, be ready to come out and play.
Right. Well, as a football player, active football player on the active varsity roster, enjoy the big crowds, all the pageantry, as you said, but really homecoming will be something for you to enjoy starting the year after you graduate.
Absolutely.
Right now, what everybody's coming to see really is a win by their old high school football team. So I know firsthand that that's what you have concentrated on this week is the game at hand. And Coach, Silver Bay, I mean, that was a fantastic game.
Jeff,
we got to touch a little bit on
right.
that.
You and I have said here, and we've talked about this, and Carly and I've even had this conversation. I've said this to him. If we ever put it together, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
If we ever can put it together, we're pretty good. I thought for 3 quarters, and I can mix in a full quarter of that game where we got sloppy, didn't line up right, didn't execute certain things properly. But for 3 solid quarters, we played really good football,
right.
and we proved that we're able to move the ball. We rushed football 559 yards. Now, gentlemen, the previous record was a Bowling Green team that rushed for 423 at Adams County when Patrick Rubelow was tailback. You might remember those days, Carly. And the next one was against Wayne Academy, 423 yards. And then I told them during the week, I said, guys, that's the most I've ever done, 428. I said, I don't know that we'll get past any more of that. Next thing you know, here we are, 559. I don't know what to say. It was just absolutely a tremendous night. Josiah was outstanding. I mean, you had 300-yard rushers. Christian with 55, and if we give Christian the ball 7 more times, he's going to have 100. So right. I mean, the offensive line was great, and I thought the kids had a great mindset during the week. And anytime you go on the road, I don't care who the opponent is. there are going to be challenges. You know, I talked to Richie Spears early in the year at Adams County. They go to Clinton Christian. And I'm not saying Clinton Christian's not a good football team, but I know what Adams County's got. And that was a one-score game when they walked out of there. And I think if those coaches were sitting right here now, they know they're 3 scores better.
Yeah.
So going on the road is a struggle. It's a tough thing. And I thought the kids did very well with that. I'm very proud of them. Again, our offensive line was tremendous. I mean, all across the front, Mac, Brody Estave came back for us, played a lot. Zeke Burford at the tight end, Dre at the tight end, Eli there at the center, the old stalwart. J.P. Brumfield at that left guard out there, and of course Jacob Mathern played that guard as well, and Bryce at the tackle. It was just a multitude of young men playing,
Right.
And that was a good thing. And I also believe that there's last week losing Maverick and having him at that game was important for our team, and I think them seeing, hey, it can happen at any time, and his desire to wish he was out there kind of motivated them to play even harder.
Yeah.
And I know that's just part of it. And that's the beauty of high school football.
Right.
For me.
Right. Well, a lot of times whenever you or myself or Carly talk about, boy, we wish we could just play one more time. That comes from a 40, 50, 60-year-old man. But when it comes from one of your counterparts that still was active a week ago, then you think, you don't have to be an old man to wish I could do it again. So it hits a little bit closer to home.
Yep.
I think.
I know how quick it'd be over for me if I played.
Yeah.
If I tried it tomorrow, it'd be over like that. About the first time one of them hit me.
That's right.
I'd last half a play.
That's right. We're going to give Carly a chance to jump in here, but I do want to mention Silliman 3-2.
Yep.
They have lost to Prentice Christian and they lost to Park Lane 33-0. They've beaten Columbia. They have beaten CHA out of Raymond, Mississippi, and they beat Centerville 36-23. That's a common opponent.
And Jeff, that 36-23 could be deceiving if you didn't watch the game. And look, Centerville went down 21-7 in that football game in the first half. Came out in the second half, takes the lead 23-21, and on the ensuing kickoff, Silliman takes it back to the 2, and it's just as if they took a hammer to their back.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And that momentum change. So when I'm watching that, and we watched that film this week as a team, and that's one of those things, guys, you see. This is a common opponent. You know what you're getting into here. So we absolutely respect Silliman Institute. We know what they bring to the table, but we also know what we're capable of bringing to the table, and I think we've got a group of young men that are going to come out, and they're going to play very hard because they take a lot of pride in their playing at their home.
Right. Well, also this week for homecoming, something that we've anticipated for 6 months is to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the 1997 state championship team.
Absolutely.
That team was coached by Coach Gary Hendry. Carly, you played for Coach Hendry, and I know you're going to tell us a little bit about an update on Coach Hendry. Carly, so throw in there some of your thoughts on
First of all, I just want to say how much I appreciate this man. The first time I ever walked in this locker room, it may have been the year after Coach Hendry was here and won the state championship.
He's going to show my age now.
He's sitting here working on something for football, and I'm just a kid, and I'm sitting there asking questions, and you can tell he's getting aggravated. He's just short, but he's occupied,
Right.
I go to walk out that door, he comes and runs me down. It's like, Carly, you want to be the water boy for us? Absolutely, Coach. And that's how I fell in love with Bowling Green football, is this man right here. So I just want to say how much I appreciate you. With Coach Hendry. So I'm going to tell you a story that most people have heard this story. I know that any player that watches this video will know this.
Right.
Coach Hendry have a table like this, and he get and sit in front of it, and he started unbuttoning that shirt. So you see this scar? Open heart surgery? I was mowing my grass in 30 days. He take out his false teeth. I kept playing the game. I got these knocked out. Mm-hmm. And it's just stuff, all the time you'd hear that.
Right.
And so the situation that Bowling Green's in now is kind of similar to where I was.
Right.
Our team went 1-9 my junior year. We had 24 to 27 players, somewhere in there. And, someone was talking about leaving and going to other places. I was one of them. I was a bigger kid. I wanted to play college ball. And get a phone call from a rabbit farmer. He called himself, he's just a little rabbit farmer.
Right.
Gary Hendry. And he comes to my house and talks to me. And, man, this guy's lost. He's talking about winning state championships.
Right.
We're 1-9. And the end of my senior year, we were 6-3. The only game that we lost with all our starters was against Trinity and Stephen Ridley.
Mm.
The other 2 games, he didn't start all of us because they weren't district games. He wanted to keep us healthy. So we lost 1 game, and we only lost that, I think, by a touchdown against Stephen Ridley and Trinity Saints. And he changed your attitude. He made you believe in winning again.
He did that.
He just changed the whole dynamic of what you believed in football, that you could win.
Yeah.
You could win with what you got. And we added some players, but when he left my house, my whole mindset was changed.
Yeah.
And he did. He came and changed the whole dynamic of Bowling Green. People loved him, respected him. He made you believe in it. And another thing, too, is we're pounding the rock again like Bowling Green football pounded it when he was there. And I love it. I am old school. I said on the radio with Arden Bird a couple of weeks ago that when you're on defense and you know that number 7, Josiah, or number 6, you know it's coming up the middle or to the outside every play. They're not going to pass it on you, and you can't stop it. It's demoralizing. You feel defeated.
That's right.
I know that feeling. And Gary Hendry would run the same play over and over and over again until they stopped you. And you knew they couldn't stop you. I would tell the man across from me, it's coming right here, bud. And they wouldn't stop you because Hendry made you believe it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know Coach Hendry's touched everybody, just commanding presence. And Coach Junkins coached with him. And I feel the exact same vibe with Coach Junkins. I wish he wasn't sitting here, but I've told this without him in presence. 0-10 last year. So we start preparing under Coach Junkins, lifting weights, different things, and Maverick comes home and said, how's it going? He said, if we played our team last year right now, we win by 30. I said, what are y'all doing different? He said, I don't know, but we're ready to win.
Because you believe in it.
Right. I mean,
You
just
trust,
the mindset
you trust what's
change.
going on. You trust your coach and what he's teaching, and he believes in it. And so you buy into it.
Right.
You have to buy into what he's bringing to the table.
You know, Coach Hendry was a master of that. But then again, he coached at a very, very high level. I mean, he coached guys like Michael Carr, Carlton Buckles. Al Head. I mean, some of the best players to ever come out of this part of the country. I mean, he was a legendary guy. You know, I got tickled listening to Carly tell that story about the teeth and you know, it's funny. We talk about Coach Hendry and his tenacity, and I told the young men last night we had dinner together, and I said, you know, I've been fired from a coaching job one time in my life, and that was by him on the 45-yard line at Buck Allen Stadium against Prentice Christian, and it was on homecoming. And because he had given us instruction, we're gonna run this play over and over, and we did. We had run it 8 plays in a row, and I had the bright idea we're going to run a counter play, and we lost 2 yards, and he walked down and fired me and gave Matt McGee the offensive coordinator position on the field. So, and yet at the same time after that ball game, he sat down, he put his arm around me, and he said, Coach, here's why. And that was the one thing that I respected about him, and that I've tried to do in my career as well is I may get on you, but I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about why and see if we can correct it. And, you know, we use a term with our young men, fix it. Right. You know you messed up, fix it. And
it's the little things.
It's the little things. It really is. It's truly the little things that we do that make a difference. And, you know, that's the one thing that I do believe our young men have done. Now, you know, just a little update on Coach Hendry. Coach, we're celebrating tomorrow night, as you guys know, the 97 championship team. 25 years ago, beat Marvell, Arkansas 19-0 to win a state championship. And And the game of the year was that 1913 game at Canton in the mud. Oh, what a night that was! But coach's health is in a tough spot, and he's dealing with some back issues. Has a couple of fractures in his back, and so his wife called me today, Miss Linda, bless her heart, I love her so much. She called today and just said he wouldn't be able to make it tomorrow. So, this is going to be, while we really wish he would be here with us tomorrow night to celebrate, we're going to celebrate with him. And I think Robert Stafford and I are probably going to get in the car tomorrow and go see him before we play.
I'll go with you.
Absolutely, go over and see him. But Coach, we love you. If you do get to see this, and we appreciate the mark you left on us, and I know you've made a tremendous difference and been a tremendous mentor to me in my life and career, and I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get back to more about tomorrow night's game, and no doubt some more stories about the 25th anniversary team and Coach Hendry after these messages from our sponsors. You're watching Inside Bowling Green Football, the Coach Phil Junkins Show. We'll be right back. We are here at Silverleaf Boutique with Nikki. Glad that Nikki was able to come on and affiliate Silverleaf Boutique with Buck Vision as a sponsor. First of all, thank you, Nikki. And I have noticed in the whole Franklinton, Washington Parish area that you are very active in sponsoring several different activities and several different programs. And I just want to say thank you for doing that. And a beautiful store you have here. Tell us a little bit about Silverleaf Boutique.
Well, I opened this store in 2016, and since then it's pretty much grown from a little bit of boutique clothes and shoes and jewelry to more gift and home items, and pretty much if you're a guy and you need a gift for your lady, you can come here.
Absolutely. Well, that's the first thing Raymond and I talked about. I said, Raymond, this is where we need to come. Next birthday, Valentine's Day. Beautiful boutique, beautiful store, and a little bit of everything. And the candle selection, I can spend 30 minutes at a candle rack anywhere. The whole place smells wonderful. But we do thank you for coming on board as a Buck Vision sponsor, and we invite everyone to come down, take a look at Silverleaf Boutique. Thank you if you're a regular customer. If you've not been here, do yourself a favor. It's on Tanglewood Road, right behind Manning's Bookstore in Franklinton. Stop by, do Buck Vision a favor, visit our friend at Silverleaf Boutique. And welcome back to Inside Buccaneer Football, the Coach Phil Junkins Show. We are on the set getting prepared for tomorrow night's game, which will be Friday. That'll be, when you're watching this, homecoming game against the Silliman Institute Wildcats. Coach, this will be the first game I noticed today out there. It looks like the offensive line that was in place at the beginning of the year, you've got that offensive line back in place.
Yeah, so we had a couple of injuries there.
Right.
And to the credit of John Parker, with a banged up knee, he's put a brace on and said, let's roll. And Brody Estave has done the same thing. He got a bum ankle, and he's done a nice job to get himself back healthy. And while I'm sure they're not in 100% comfort, they're playing and they get after it. And I said it early in the year. I'll say it again. I still believe they're the best two guards to this date I've ever coached.
Wow.
They're quick, they're fast, they're in a hurry, they're aggressive, and they're not scared of anything. And they may not be the biggest cats on the field, but in the offense we run, they are the type of guard we want to have.
That's right.
A quick, fast guy that gets there. And the thing about it is, any correction made to them, yes sir, move on. They're coachable, and it's made it a lot of fun. But to have two big tackles like we have as well has been, and of course, if you're looking at T, you got to have a great tackle. You got to have one that'll step down. And while we still this week we're working on a lot of little things. We're excited to have that first group back. We've got a separate group of defensive linemen, and when we looked at it, you got Zeke going both ways, you got Dre going both ways, you got Kyron going both ways. Outside of that, we're pretty much platooning, which at this time of year is very good. And if we can stay healthy, we hope we can, be in it in the fourth quarter and find a way to win.
Right. Well, you wouldn't be able to platoon unless those guys made their way back into the lineup, and that gives you the opportunity to do that. And they've not only made their way back into the lineup, they're close to 100%, but then their savvy gives them that 100% football mentality, even if they might be half a step slow, which I've not seen that.
I was about to say, I'm impressed with the guards, especially when they're pulling, you're running outside. They're out there, and they're making blocks, and it's wide open. I said it on the radio with Arden. Those guards they're pulling the right ways. They're making the right blocks, and you got to have a little bit up here to do that.
Yeah.
And I give a lot of credit to Jacob Mathern from a perspective of coming in to an unknown situation from a different school. His attitude, his leadership. He loves this game. My gosh, I've never seen that. I've been around a lot of kids love football. This cat loves football.
That makes a difference on it.
And the neat thing about it is he can play either the guard or the tackle position. He's been we were coaching him, or I was one of the coaches that was coaching him since he was in the 8th grade, and he's been in that system. So it was a perfect fit for our system. That when he came in, and he's been very good, and I think he's helped some of these younger guys to make the adjustment. And defensively, the kid that has, if you had a most improved at this point defensively, you'd have to say what LJ's been able to do to come on the other side of the football at that linebacker position and pick it up quickly has been, because that's not an easy position to pick up.
Right.
But he's been able to pick it up, and he's going to get better every time he does it. Then we're asking Zeke, hey, Zeke, go play safety. Hey, Zeke, how about dropping down to defensive end? So here are two young guys. Zeke's, what did they say about Taysom Hill this past week? Swiss Army knife. He's becoming that. He might be the tallest Swiss Army knife on planet Earth. But he's done a lot of great things for us defensively. And I can't say enough about good things about these two young corners. Everybody else in this league would say, oh, they're too short to play for me. Oh, they're not fast enough to play with me. Oh, they're not big enough to play with me. Man, they play hard. And are they going to get beat every now and then? Uh-huh. Because seniors do that to sophomores. Yeah. But they don't quit, man. They keep after it. I love my team. I love these young men. And probably the guy who had the single best defensive practice this week was Christian.
Yeah.
He practiced like a high school football player this week.
Right.
And I hope he plays like that tomorrow night, because he was getting after it in practice. Learning.
Yeah.
Learning, right?
Yeah.
That learning it. And the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So we all know that we face a tremendous opponent tomorrow night, but I think our kids are ready to play. I know they will come out and play hard. They're going to give us great effort.
Right.
I just want to make one comment on the LJ move to linebacker. That also helps with his size, where you're a little bit undersized at linebacker this year.
That's correct.
And,
that's probably the major reason for the move.
Yeah.
He looked great when he made that move. You can tell he's excited. He flies around. And, I'd say that makes you look really good as a coach making that move.
Well,
it was a great move.
And two, understanding that, a fresh Josiah keeps their offense off the field.
Yep.
And when a cat can rush the ball 28 times for 289 yards, I'm going to give him an opportunity to stand over there and be fresh.
That's right.
And if we can continue to do those things, then good things can happen for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to have LJ in that
Absolutely.
position. Speaking of someone who loves football, LJ.
Yeah.
He's eat up
He
with it,
is,
man.
he
You
is,
got to
he does.
love that.
Yeah, he loves
Hey,
it.
and Christian, you mentioned him. He led the team in tackles last week.
Right.
Had a great week. And then I'm just throwing it all in there. Those two corners, at the beginning of the year, I see the two guys that moved up from JV last year, namely Russell Wilson and Ripple Champagne, as I call him. I'm like, hey, they look pretty good. I wonder who's going to start for varsity at corner. And then somebody said, I think they're going to start. I'm like, well, we'll see,
Yeah.
But hey, they do have that youth that allows them to play full speed, and if they do happen to get beat or whatever, they're just as enthusiastic on the next play, and that's what I've always heard about a corner. It's absolutely necessary to not think about the last play, good or bad. Be ready for the next time that man lines up in front of you.
You got to have short memory.
Yeah.
You got to have short memory when it comes to that, and it's funny you talk about those two, and I'll tell you another one that we moved into a position this past week with the injury to Maverick, and that was Cam Seal. And I told Cam during practice one day last week, I said, Cam, we're going to drop you down at nose guard. The look on his face was priceless.
Yeah.
He looked at me like, you've lost your mind. And then I said, no, man. I said, you get to get down there and give them fits. And all of a sudden, that look on his face of not confusion, but just sheer, hey, let me give it a shot. And I thought when we placed him in the ball game, he did an excellent job doing his job. And that's another thing we talk about with our young men. Do your job. Don't try to do everybody else's job. Just do yours. Just do yours, and we'll see how things work out. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I'd said on Buck Vision last week, I told Chris Bird, I said, Cam Seal's been after me all year. You need to give me a nickname. I need a nickname. And I'm like, Cam, I usually don't give spot players, a nickname. I said, whenever you start playing a lot, I'll get on that. And really, I hadn't thought of anything. So when I got home the next morning, then we all in there, and my mother said, hey, I thought of a nickname for Cam Seal. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he's been after me. Give him one. She said, seal the deal. Seal the deal. Cam Seal.
He's been telling me his new nickname this week.
And he likes it.
Yes, he does.
So got to give credit where credit's due. I come up with a lot of them, but have to throw that in there.
Well, speaking of Maverick, too, he has a surgery, I think, in the morning, right?
That's right.
We'll
Yes.
keep him in our prayers, too. I mean,
Thank
that
you,
was a
Carly.
loss, and
Yes, it is.
I don't know the feeling of injury when it's over with, but I know what it feels like to play your last game.
Yeah.
That feeling, and I can't imagine not being able to finish your senior year. So
Yeah.
we're thinking of him too tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It gives you a chance to at least kind of go out gradually. You finish, you play your last game, and then you're still part of the team.
That's it.
Right.
Usually, Carly, you play your last game, and then next year when you show up to watch, you're an outsider. Just not really,
No.
but. I talked to a guy a couple of years ago, and I said, hey, how's it going? He said, man, this is horrible. He said, the coaches don't even treat me the same. I said, well, it's nothing personal, but here's the thing. They're trying to get the team ready for the game.
Yeah.
And you're not on the team.
Yep. That's right.
So
There has been.
yeah, it's at least a gradual exit, and I thank you for all the support that you've given him. 5:15 in the morning, and that's when it really starts. And I'm thankful for LJ and LJ's mother, Jessica, who LJ's been through it, and they've been real supportive to us. So have a lot of people. But any closing comments, Coach?
Well, I just want to remind everybody, got our homecoming parade, and we're really excited. We're honoring that 97 team, not just the team, but we're also honoring the Buccanettes, the cheer, all the support groups. And I talked to one of the Buccanettes earlier this week that I worked with when I was at Oak Forest, and she's coming, and it was like, I'm gonna be there, and so there's a lot of excitement, and I think as much as anything, we get to see old friends, we get to talk old memories, and we get to honor a group of young men and women that were very special. I know they were special to my life. They're special to this Bowling Green family, and it's going to be an exciting time. And a shout out to my little ones, the Dancing Dolls and the Buccaneer Babes. Let me tell you something. They have come to see Coach Phil, and they are excited about their time here on homecoming. And tomorrow night's going to be a lot of fun for everybody, and we're looking forward to it. And we appreciate you being here, Carly.
Absolutely,
always good
I enjoyed
to
it.
have you around.
What
Jeff,
time do the festivities start tomorrow night? For anybody that wants to be here,
6 o'clock, we will begin the process of crowning our homecoming queen. We'll meet our maids and we'll announce our homecoming queen, and then the teams will come out around 6:30, warm up, and we're moving start time to 7:15 to allow everybody to work to be able to warm up on the field, and then at halftime we'll have the Silliman dancers will do a quick performance. We'll introduce our 97 team, and then the halftime extravaganza, that's what it's called. Halftime extravaganza will occur, and then we'll get back to playing the game of football. So
sounds good.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope there'll be a lot of folks on campus tomorrow night. I think actually tomorrow night we might be one of the only games in town. So
that's right.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we invite everybody to come out because I'm telling you, it's still the best place and the best $8 you can spend, and some of the greatest entertainment you can find.
That's right. So we'll try to be on with Raymond Williams, our executive producer, no doubt, to cover that the homecoming festivities, the crowning of the new queen, Buck Vision. Go to YouTube and search Buck Vision, 2 words, subscribe, and you can watch all of the Raymond Williams productions on there. You can watch us live tomorrow night. If you're living in Stony Point and don't have the opportunity to have good internet all the time, 107.3 FM WFCG is where you can hear Arden Bird and Carly King call the game on the radio live. Or you can get in the car, $8, and you're watching it from the ringside seats.
Even better.
At Buck Helen Stadium. Even better. Carly, thanks for sitting in as
I appreciate y'all having me
host.
on. I've enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, and we miss our friend Chris Bird. He's making hay while the sun shines.
That's right.
The Hawk Chris Bird will be with me tomorrow night. Arden and Carly will be on the radio. Coach Phil Junkins, we appreciate you as always. I'm Mr. Positive Jeff McKelvin, and hopefully we'll be on a winning set again next week. Until we see you again, go Buck.